Hello there. I've discovered something that I can't believe. I'm going to have to change my user's name. I can't say I'm godless anymore. For I have found gods. We've been told about them for years. There's books. There's everything. There's so much proof out there of their existence. These gods are known as Pokemon. And I can't believe how dumb I was not to see it. They spoke to the creators of the comic books and the cartoons and the games. They revealed themselves to them. I only ask that they reveal themselves to me, but they won't. But I figured it out. The games tell you. The books tell you. You just have to look through. As the saying goes, got to catch them all. You see, the Pokeball being red and white represents muscle tissue of your heart. And you have to capture them all inside your heart before they will be revealed to you. I can't believe I've never realized that. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, where's your proof of this? I don't have to present any more proof than what's already there. Just look around you. The thunder in the sky. The water in our riverbeds. The rocks in our mountains. It's all there because of them. The trees, bugs, everything. And we just have to open our eyes, open our Pokeballs and accept. I really can't believe that I've been this blind. This information has been available to me for a majority of my lifetime. And yet, instead of looking at the evidence, I dismissed it. Yes, I know that some of it is to be taken in a literal sense, such as the savior of the Pokemon named Ash Ketchum. That is literal. That happened. That's documented in the books, the cartoons, and the games by men who, through magical means, the means of Pokemon, had the stories implanted into their heads. Psyduck is the one who did that for them. He just spoke the words into the minds of these men from a foreign land. And we just dismissed it. We dismissed it all. And if you look at it, how does history put it? There are ancient gods known as Zeus and all that. The Native Americans, the Greeks, they all had multiple gods. And the reason why they had multiple gods is because they knew of the existence of Pokemon long before that time. Before they were able to reveal themselves to mankind. My proof is in the books, in the series. Because there is no way anyone could have come up with that. And the only way to live your life is to capture every single one of them and live peaceful and virtuous lives as a Pokemon master. I know I gotta catch them all. Don't you? No, all seriousness. I don't believe that Pokemon are real. I am not going to be changing my user's name. And this is more or less a discussion on burden of proof. You know, I hear that a lot on a lot of podcasts and things. People are like, well, the burden of proof rests on those who say it doesn't exist. Well, let me ask you, if someone was actually coming up to you and saying, hey, Pokemon are real, and they said, wouldn't you say, where's your proof? And if all they said, well, it's all around us. It's in book form. Even more so than with most religions, they got video games. Legal video games. Christians, I know you're saying that there are Christian video games, but those old ones are illegally made. Ironically enough. There may be some new ones, but I frankly don't give a damn. And as far as other religions go, I don't think there's video games for them. I don't think there's the dreidel spinning simulator for the DS. I don't think there, is any such thing like that. So, what I'm saying is, why is it that believers of things believe the burden of proof is on those who says it doesn't exist? Because, frankly, the only people I have seen that really believe in things, that full-heartedly believe that there is something out there and they will provide that proof, they will do everything to try to prove it to you, is people who believe in extraterrestrial life coming to Earth. They don't expect people who don't believe them to be like, okay, why should, they don't expect them to provide the proof that aliens don't exist. Same with, someone who's going to run up and say Pokemon exist. They don't, I guess they might, I don't know, that's just a weird scenario, but let's go with the actual scenario of people who believe in aliens, extraterrestrials coming to Earth. They believe full-heartedly, yet they still believe that the proof is on them. The burden of proof is for them. I've not seen anything where they just go, well, you're just stupid and closed-minded. The evidence is everywhere. It's just a matter of fact if you don't believe it. You got to believe in it before you know it's true. No, most people that I've met that believe in extraterrestrials, they'll be like, you don't believe in it? Well, let me provide you with what evidence that I have found. Okay. And it's interesting that no one really compares it. No one goes, well, but I guess that's because people laugh off people who believe in aliens coming to Earth, which I don't believe aliens have been to Earth. I'll go ahead and put that out there. I do believe in the possibility of extraterrestrials. Ooh. And I know a lot of people go, well, if you believe in the possibility of extraterrestrials, then why can't you believe in the possibility of God? Well, there's a difference. You're speaking of a being which is supposedly perfect. And, I said supposedly. That's going to offend people because they're going to get on to me and say, well, he is perfect. If he's perfect, then why does he need love? You don't have needs if you are perfect. But anyways, you're talking about a being that would not be seen. Okay. A being that cannot be seen, and yet, when it comes down to extraterrestrials, the possibility is endless because all the numbers of planets and solar systems out there. And I'm not just jumping to the conclusion saying, well, there's definitely. I'm saying there's a high probability that there may be aliens. I can go on ahead and definitively say that there are no real Pokemon running around in the hills or causing the thunder or filling our rivers with water. Even though, in all honesty, I can't prove that it doesn't, that there isn't a Pikachu out there just... I can't prove that. But I can pretty much say, yeah, it's not there. But if there was a remote chance of it, then yeah, it could be. But I just question that. Why is it in some situations, why is it, especially with Christians, the burden of proof is on the atheists because they're trying to disprove. No. I don't think babies come into this world with God in mind. That's the reason why there's different religions all over the world. That's the reason why if a child is raised without a God ever brought up in their lives, that they come to conclusions on their own. They'll either believe that there's animals at work or that life is just life. So it's weird that, they want to say, well, you're the one who's saying no. Which, I was watching this one thing that before baby boomers, a majority of the country was actually turning more towards evidence-driven arguments. And then after the baby boomers, something happened. And that's something I'd like to actually do a little bit more research on. What changed, the societal views on, well, we need evidence for this. Because now we're back to having people who believe the world is flat without evidence. They believe it's a big hoax. We have people who believe in fairies living in your head, to go even weirder. Or I'm sorry, more bizarre. Weirder is probably not a word. And they have no evidence, yet they'll tell you that they don't need it. The only people that I'm really seeing that has the understanding of a belief system correct is people who do believe in aliens. And that's what I'm saying, is that they have a belief system at work there. You could almost say that some of them even have their own churches because they get together and they discuss these matters. And, they talk about being abducted and their proof that they have, and there's more proof in that. Even though science can come along and debunk it. But they supply more proof than most religions. And I can't fathom why this group of individuals who honestly believe in something actually know that the burden of proof is on them. And yet these group of individuals over here who honestly believe in something want to go, fuck you, you prove it doesn't exist. The claim goes just the same as if I ran into a store and said there's a UFO out in the parking lot that no one can see, but you can feel it if you stand there. And I've learned a way that most religious people try to get around this. Well, I would say you honestly believe there is a UFO out there, despite the fact that there isn't one. Really? That's going to be your answer. Because if that's your answer, that's the answer to what you think, probably. I mean, why would it be, well, I believe that that's what you think? If someone said it to you, you'd be like, well, fuck you, buddy. I know what's true and what isn't. So, and I have people telling me, well, you can't disprove this. And, yeah, I know. I can't disprove the existence, but I can look at the evidence. And the evidence stacks up against, just like the evidence stacks up against Pokemon being real. Just like the evidence stacks up that aliens have not made contact with humans. Just like the evidence stacks up that there possibly is life outside of the Earth. So, it's just this argument, and it's the silliest argument ever. Because, in all honesty, there's a group, the people, the alien believers, they got it right. They got it right. The proof of evidence, the burden of evidence is on them, and they know it. Each and every single one of them. There might, okay, disclaimer, there might be a few out there who go, well, fuck you, I know what's real and what isn't. And say, well, I've seen aliens. Fucked them and they fucked me and shit like that. But for the most part, they know the burden of proof is on them. And as far as I can tell, that's not as kooky and not as crazy as people want to let on. That's rational. That's sane. That's more sane than saying, I just feel something, therefore it is. And I know I'm going to anger people with this, which, and by people, I mean people I personally know, which sucks that I'm going to anger them. But, I mean, we're at this standstill here where I actually got an email from an individual getting on to me about my views, that I need to change my name on here, and because there's supposed to be an atheist Christian understanding around these parts, that if you're an atheist, you keep your mouth shut, and that's the understanding. No, I'm not changing my name. I'm not changing my standpoint. I made this channel because, you know what? There are people out there who are afraid to talk about their beliefs because they live in worse areas than Eastern Kentucky. They live in worse areas than the Bible Belt. And honestly, I feel that people need to know that there are other people out there that believe like them. And in just the slightest fucking little bit of inkling that someone else out there agrees with one of my crazy ideas other than religion, then they know there's someone out there that that thinks the same way as them, and they don't have to feel so damn alone. Christians act like they're persecuted in a nation where you pretty much have to say you're a Christian to become a president, to become a politician, to fucking do anything. And yet they turn around and say the burden of disbelief and the burden of non-proof is on everyone else. It's like an insane bully at times when you deal with certain people who believe in things. They want to bully your beliefs, and then they want to bully you using stereotypes, which, I agree. Stereotypes are there for a reason. If in the past they said that atheists are depressed individuals and that's a stereotype, then I would agree. Yeah, probably in the past, because you know what? It's kind of depressing when you have to hold down your true nature. And something amazing happened when I finally outed myself to my mother. I felt better. I notice my cognitive capabilities have opened back up, like something that hasn't happened since I was a child. I don't feel this weight on me anymore. And I feel more confident in myself. And I think the same goes when anybody has to hide a secret. And the thing is, in America, you don't have to hide being religious. Except maybe if you're a Muslim, because, people right now, are looking at it pretty badly. And then there are small groups that have given themselves bad names, and you have to say themselves, because if it is a group, they have aided in that, and that being Mormons, and with their compounds. And I know not all Mormons believe that way, but in general, that's what comes up. And then finding out there's like a Jewish group in New York like that. There's a book coming out. I cannot remember the lady's name. She escaped from it. People who are, they only speak in Yiddish. It's in New York, and it's so strange to hear a Jewish group like this, because, I've always thought Jews being real gentle, quiet people. But apparently not. This almost sounds exactly like how these Mormon camps or compounds are ran. And it's anything that infringes on human rights I find disgusting. I'm sorry. But again, if you believe in something, the burden of proof is on you. A disbelief is not something that has to be proven. It's because it's a disbelief. There's no belief there. That's like saying the television's off over there, but someone's sitting there saying, no, it's on. I'm watching the Jeffersons. I don't know why the Jeffersons popped in my mind. Moving on up, and they're sitting there saying, no, I'm sitting watching the Jeffersons. This is the episode. I'm getting that mixed up with the All in the Family. Well, either way, I can't think of it. The tall white guy is walking on Mr. Jefferson's back, or vice versa. I can't remember. It's been years. And they're sitting there describing it as it happens, but the TV's off. There's no, and they're saying, well, this is the proof. I'm gonna think the individual had a stroke. I'm gonna be honest with you, or something just kind of went loopy. Especially if everyone else is seeing the TV is off, and they are the only person, and no other reason for them to be sitting there and spouting what they're seeing, because they are trying to prove what they're seeing. And we, as the observers of it not being there, we can't say, well, all we can say is it's not there, whether, we don't see this. Has your brain transformed and picked up waves that are coming through all the time? That might be a theory that someone comes up with to support this individual. And thus the room gets divided between those who believe the TV is off and those who believe that the TV's on, but only this individual here can view it. Man, this has been a weird one. I didn't really want to do Pokemon, but I kind of got talked into it. And I hope I satisfied you people. But, I stumbled over myself. I don't give a fuck. I stumble over my own damn words all the time. I'm not made for public speaking. I'm not taking a public speaking class. In fact, that's one of the things I realized after I came out. I'm more acclimate it to society. I can talk to people that I really wouldn't have talked to before. I can voice my opinions instead of shyly going, well, let's ease away from this conversation here. Talking to the guy last night would never have happened had it not been for the fact that I've come out about being an atheist. Because I didn't want to talk to people. Not because there might be opposing views, but because I was more, all my life I'd learned to hold things in, and that's holding my own self in. I don't know. It could have just been me, but I do believe that, people being more honest with themselves. However that Shakespearean quote goes, to thine own self be true. If that's not Shakespeare, damn it, I probably seem stupid, but I've admitted I'm not smart. I'm not that well educated. That's a problem with Eastern Kentucky, is you don't really get a good education. But again, burden of proof is on that of the believer. I stand strongly by that. Because, like I've stated all throughout the video, you're the ones that believe in that. If I see a field of sand and you're saying it's got water in it, lead me to the water. Show me the water. And once you show me the water, well, but you can't say it's in a book written by men, inspired by, whatever. Because like I've proven with the Pokemon thing, anybody can say anything was inspired by something with such capabilities. And if inspiration means that something is true, well, damn. I'm inspired by Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. I'm inspired by a lot of zombie movies when I do my writing. A lot of zombie books. Does that mean zombies are real? Inspiration means it's real, so zombies are real? Anyways, agree with me, please thumbs up. Disagree with me, please thumbs down. Hell, maybe you disagree with me, but you like the video, so you want to give it a thumbs up. Maybe you do agree with me, but you think this video is just a piece of shit, thumbs it down. Leave a comment in the comments below, and, give yourself a pat on the back. You made it through this very odd, cumbersome video, and you deserve that. Here we go. Just lean towards your computer. I'm not going to smack you. Good job. Good job. You've made it through a video of Pokemon, aliens, and zombies. That was probably about religion.